Hello, this is Lynn Morgan-Rosser. Welcome to Vita, COLITUR. This episode is a little bit different. Part of Vita, COLITUR for me is a sense of holism, of interconnectedness, the totality of what it is to be human, brought to the act of creating our lives with depth, meaning, and purpose. So I want to plant a seed of an idea that I found personally inspiring and see if it will take root and grow and unfold into something of value for you as well. I want to play with the concept of energy as a metaphor for love. In our last episode, part 2 of the interview with Donna Glee Williams, she said something about the process of writing her novel, The Night Field, that sparked some thoughts for me, things that I've thought about for a very long time. Here's what she said.
At the same time, I was wrestling with the fact that I'd written a book that was light utopian at the beginning. It became a little bit of an adventure story. And then for the last 2/3 of the book, it was just nothing but death, damnation, and despair. You can't do that to a reader. And one of the things I thought about was the book, The Road. How did Cormac McCarthy manage to write a book that was so dark and so desperate and keep us with him and keep us turning the pages? Like, I could not put that book down. And I realized that what it was love. That book was dark, but it was just glowing with love on every page. And so if the answer is love, I just had to pour in more love between the characters, those protagonists, and the love could carry the darkness.
Love could carry the darkness. Light, love, energy. Let me just take a moment to develop this metaphor. So now, love as energy. Well, first, what is energy? Matter is densely packed energy, which is true. That's a fact of science. Energy can exist without becoming matter, as we see in electromagnetic forms of energy, which are, light and radio waves. And there's mechanical energy, such as the sound of my voice coming to you now. Our brains and bodies developed to perceive certain qualities of energy, and we exist as human beings on a very narrow perceptual bandwidth inside the bubble of space-time. Now, our brains allowed us to be intelligent enough to create tools to explore outside our natural limitations, and so who knows what future instruments might detect and help us to perceive. Well, then what happens? We take the information we perceive and transform it into our personal experience. It's like an advanced virtual reality suit. Our bodies interact with the essentially energetic forms around us. And beyond that, our culture, language, education, geography, our environment, beliefs, and relationships further shape our reality. Are you with me so far? Okay. Now, for the metaphor, love as energy. When I think of the nature of love as energy, I'm playing with the idea that it is something that the entire universe is built from. It is attraction at its most basic level, like the attraction of positive and negative particles and the chemical interactions that form the elements. It's the weird non-locality of particles entangled with each other over unfathomable distances and the combining of the smallest energies across the vastness of space and time into more and more complexity. The interconnection of everything, whether quantum particles or human hearts. It's all connected in threads of an invisible net. I have a motto: love runs through it all. And I think of this as being both an invisible current connecting people across vast physical distances or even mental and emotional distances, as well as a solid, grounded foundation on which to build a life, like matter itself. Letting the current of love run and flow through my life, out into the work I do, out to other people, near and far, out to the planet, to the universe, infusing what I build and create with love, and allowing myself to be included in that love. That for me is to live so that love runs through it all. So to bring that back around, the seed here is the idea of love as energy, which makes it the structure of the universe, at least metaphorically. This is not an original idea. This has been the call of mystics throughout the ages and has been woven into scriptures from around the world. Love, like energy, is a massive transformational power. Seeing the foundations of everything, like energy in its various forms, including matter, as being the expression of or embodiment of a universal, creative, conscious, and infinite love, whatever you choose to name it or whatever tradition best explains that for you. That perception is the gateway to oceanic levels of transformation, personal bliss, peace, and connection. At least, that's the seed of the idea unfolding in me. Is it true? Well, I've definitely had some experiences that make me believe it. Still, it's just an idea, a metaphor. Maybe it will resonate with you. Maybe some people will point to the shadows of the world as proof against this idea, and it will simply wither in their minds. But shadows are the absence of light, not a quality of it. And one might argue that we understand more of what light is when we see where it is not. And maybe, love is meant to be the means by which we can carry the darkness. And by adding more love to the pages of our own story, by letting love run through it all, even the shadowed, wounded parts can begin to heal, just like the night field. Anyway, I know this touches on some esoteric and spiritual type things. Honestly, for me, this is the essence of being, of discovering and relating the self to the world. But in terms of creating, and of Vita COLITUR, creating our lives as the ultimate art, I'm wondering if the idea of love is energy can be useful for other people in their personal transformation, for connection, for bringing together community, creating bonds, for creating in general. Love is, in this metaphor, as atoms are, the clay of the universe. Part of life is the mystery of it, right? The numinous qualities of love, beauty, harmony, awe. The source of music and art and story, and even the expression of the shadows, of the absence of lack, all touch upon repeated themes, letters from an alphabet we can occasionally read, written in the fabric of everything. I walk the narrow and limited path of being human, carried through time on currents that, if I listen, if I feel outward with my mind and heart, I can catch the roaring whisper of oneness and the interconnectedness of all things, of love, calling like the faint sound of the ocean from within the curve of a shell. Night sea. Layers of the deep night unfolding on the invisible horizon. The sound of the sea, the brine of the breeze. My eyes seek out the white foam, the faint lines of demarcation between the worlds, of the known and the unknown. Hidden in the black and midnight blue, the ocean breathes and sighs, teeming with life, pulsating. Billions of beating hearts, death and birth, strange floating dances, tendrils and tentacles, fins and teeth, deep in the trenches of the earth. And me, on a balcony, framing 2 dimensions, color transitions, the void of a moonless sky, the heart is the sea. We are a glass darkly, darkly we see, a thin line of reality, but the heart is the sea. The sea, the sea. Today's challenge. This can be a journal prompt, or maybe a conversation starter, or even a spark for a creative project if you are so inclined. Play with the idea of love is energy. What, if anything, does that spark in you? Imagine the ground you walk on, the air you breathe, and the water you drink are all made of this interconnected universal love. Imagine the furthest reaches of the world and every human heart, every conscious being also are made from that substance. Does this feeling guide you to want to take any positive action in the world for yourself or others? Do you perceive yourself, other people, or the environment differently from this perspective? Let me know in the comments. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you for being here with me today. I wish you a beautiful, kind, creative time until I see you again on Vita COLITUR.